Okay. All right, so I'm going to copy this, paste it, and I'm going to actually change, I'm going to just make very minor changes to my code. Simply, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it here. So instead of making it a global array, I'm making it a local array. And this is actually, if we change that to plus, yeah, this will be actually accurate here. So in this case, I'm not going to use the stack. So let me unmerge. Let me delete the content. Let me move the stack pointer back to where it used to be. Let me change the color of this. And oh, in this case, actually, I will use the stack, but at the beginning, the stack is going to be empty. Of course, I'm going to be using the stack more than the global data, the static data. There's no such thing as static data right now. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. Who wants to start with this one? So here's the text. Give me the code, or let me do that. You know what? I'm going to do this, and I'm going to write the logic of the loop because it's very similar to what we did before. And then I'm going to let you think about this. I'm going to give you the time to focus on the important stuff. I'm going to do the tedious stuff here. I'm going to say add immediate SP 20, -20. And that's going to take my stack pointer 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where I want to be. And then I'm going to say add immediate S0, 0, 0. That's going to be for the initialization. Then I'm going to do loop. And then at the end, I'm going to say jump to loop. And I'm going to say after. And before that, of course, jump to loop doesn't need a colon. And then I'm going to do increment add immediate S0, S0, 1. And here I'm going to do set less than immediate. I'm going to put the result in T0. I'm going to say S0, 5. And I'm going to say if it's equal to 0, I'm going to go to after. And this part is where you're going to come in and help me with this one. And let me actually calculate this one. I'll do that for you. So I'm going to put it in S1, add immediate S1, and I'm going to simply add S0 to 2, or add 2 to S0. And now I want you to think about this one. All right. So let me start giving you some clues here. So because we're going to put, those values on the stack, then we're going to do, of course, store word. We're going to take S1 and we're going to put it on the stack. Now we know that there has to be an immediate here or a label. Now we don't have any labels here. We don't have any global arrays, global variables. So it's not going to be a label. It's going to be an immediate because, again, we don't have any labels. And then here we would have a register, and typically we would have SP. So typically what we've been doing so far is we've been saying if we want to put a value here in the first element, we can put 0. And if you want to put value in the second element, we can just offset SP by 4. And then we can offset by 8, 12, 16. That's how we've been doing it. And it's been working out for us. Now, the problem with what we have here is that we have a loop. And we'd like this immediate to change. So we'd like this immediate to be 0 in the first iteration so that, we can put 0 plus 2 in my array 0. And then we'd like, this 0 to become 4 and then 8. And this is impossible. I mean, it's impossible to use an immediate that changes. If it changes, that means it's not an immediate. Then what you might think is, how about we put like a T0 here that's going to start at 0, then go to 4 to 8, just similar to what we did in the last video. But of course, that's going to be a problem because that's not the correct syntax. So the idea here is how about the clever idea is how about we take this one and we add this to it once we have the right value of this one. So maybe T0 is still going to be 048, just like in the last video. And what we should do is maybe we should add SP to T0 and put the value in T0 or maybe T1. We can put it in any register we want, and then use that register here and assign the immediate the value 0. So let me show you how that looks like. So we can say I'm gonna actually add immediate T1 0 0. So I do want to have, of course, we don't have semicolon here. I do want to have a register called T1 that's going to have 0 4 8 12. So after each store word, I want to increment it. So add T0 T04. So it would have to be add immediate. And again, I cannot use this syntax. So the idea is how about we add, and in this case, actually, I don't want to use a T. Oh, it should be T1. So T1 kind of gets incremented by 4, but I don't want to use T1 to add T1 to SP. I want to put it in something like T2, which is okay. So I'm going to add T1 to SP. I'm going to add T1 to SP, and I'm going to put it in T2, and then I'm going to put T2 here, and I'm going to use 0 for the immediate. So what's going to happen here is in the first iteration, T1 is going to be 0 because I haven't incremented it yet. So what's going to happen here is I'm going to add SP, which is really pointing at here, plus 0. So I'm not going to do anything here. It's just going to be SP. And I'm going to put it in T2. And I'm going to use that to put the value S1, which is really what I calculated for the result. And that's going to put the value here because my SP is pointing here and I haven't moved it. And that's going to be 2. That's going to be 0 plus 2. Now, after that, right after that, T1 is going to become 4. And in the next iteration, of course, this result will be calculated and it'll be 3. What I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be adding SP to T1, which is 4. So SP, which is here, is going to be added to 4, and we're going to end up with this location, with this address. And that would be T2. So T2 is right now pointing here. T2 contains the address of this byte. And this is exactly what you want here because you want this address in the next iteration, and you don't want to add anything to it. So that's why we have 0 for the immediate, and we have the result, which is 3, and that's what you're going to put here. And then T1 is going to be incremented by 4. So T1 is going to be 8. And in the next iteration, again, you're going to calculate the result. And here, T2 is going to become 8 plus SP, which will be here. So T2 is going to be here. And you're going to merge all of that, and you're going to put the value 4 in it. And then you're going to merge all of that and put the value 5. And you're going to merge all of that and put the value 6. Now, I'm going to give you some time. I'll give you just maybe a minute to make sure that this makes sense. See if you have any questions, and then we can move on, and talk about the next topic.